All right, welcome in if you're here. One person. We'll get going here momentarily. If you're watching this in the future, you might want to fast forward a little bit. Gonna wait till we get a couple people in here, then we'll get going. We'll start off on Bitcoin. I'll do what I think needs to be said, what I think you like, and then we can open up for requests in a bit. And we'll do some altcoins. Whole market's down today a little bit. We'll address anything you have questions on. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Help spread the word. Good morning. Welcome in. All right, here we go. Now we got a couple. All right, remember hit the likes. All right, we got a couple viewers now, so might as well get started. Live stream Friday. Happy Friday, first of all. Depending on how this does, maybe we'll try to do a couple more. Maybe we'll do like live stream Fridays or maybe once a week or something like that. Let me know in the comments what works best for you. Maybe I'll do a poll on Twitter or X. What time works best? What day works best? Maybe you want weekends, nights, whatever. Try to grow the channel. Welcome in, everybody. Got a rare live stream going on. Hopefully do more of these throughout the bull run. I feel like these help more people, but less people watch. So that's kind of a bull bear push. Good morning. All right, we got a good bunch of people here. We got 14 people now. So we'll start off on Bitcoin, like I said, and then we'll go to altcoins and your questions, okay? So Bitcoin on the daily chart, we've been range bound here, right, for a number of days, almost a month now, really going back to early December. Which way is going to break out first? Well, let's paint that box, right? So we're looking, and I want to paint this like this because look at this kind of little deviation or head fake, I would like to call it right here. So is this a fake out up or down? Well, we've had both moves, but looking at the Gaussian channel here, we just had an anomaly here happen back on Wednesday where we tagged the upper Gaussian channel for the first time since October, since leaving it, right? Turning green on the daily anyway. So that's a sign of potential, maybe a warning sign, right? We don't know for sure yet, but the uptrend is certainly weakening by definition. I mean, just look at the chart, right? How the farther you are away from the Gaussian channel, the more power you got behind you. But the Gaussian channel tends to act like a magnet. So the farther you get away from it, right, kind of pulls you back in a little bit. So maybe we're starting to see that. What we do not want to see on the daily, or at least for bulls, they would not want to see closes inside of that Gaussian channel on the daily. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. That would also kind of take out these swing lows. So around 41K gets us back in the Gaussian channel on the daily and takes out these swing lows. To the high side, all we're looking to do is really just put in a higher high with conviction. I would love to see a massive break above 45K, like close above 45.5, 46K, something like that. And then likely maybe the ETF news is fueling that pump. We'll have to see, right? ETF, you better expect the unexpected here, right? Don't get too deterministic in what you think is going to happen. How often has that worked out in crypto, right? So that's the daily chart. If we zoom out down a little bit more, right to the 4-hour, we're still green on the Gaussian channel, but look at what we have going here. We have multiple tests of this 200 EMA, right? So here's that breakout channel on the daily. So what I'd be looking for is if we start to close under the median line, that by definition starts to turn more bearish, right? When we start to turn red, you see how the candles turn red here, right? And versus green, you're in the upper tier, right? By definition, bullish. Now, the 4-hour has the most fake outs out of pretty much any chart you're going to look at on the Gaussian channel. You can see even on just this zoomed in level, red, green, red, green. The secret sauce is the 5-day, has the least amount of fake outs. So let's go take a look at that. 5-day Gaussian channel. We're well above it, right? And that's a good sign, right? We mentioned, we made a video on this, right? Back when we just eventually turned green back in May of 2023. It doesn't matter where prices go. The lows are likely in once this happens, and your prices are above. You just have to have 2 check marks. Prices above the Gaussian channel, the channel turns green, and you're historically good to go for the past decade plus in Bitcoin. And this works on any coin. You can use the Gaussian channel. It's a free indicator on TradingView. Default set up perfectly. I mean, look at our low test here on the 5-day, right? A perfect bounce off the median Gaussian, and that was it, right? That low wick of 24.9. right off of the 5-day Gaussian channel, median line, and perfect support, and nuke to the upside. So that's where we are now. You can see how often. Let's go to the weekly. I want to illustrate something here. This is a record-setting pace for Bitcoin on one thing. The amount of weeks, right? We're working on 11 weeks here of untesting, and we just did it yesterday, of not testing this EMA 8, the red line. That was a record pace for Bitcoin. The longer you're away from that, the more unhealthy price action tends to be. Now, it's a powerful move because if you look at the Bollinger Bands, turn on the Bollinger Bands here, notice how it hugs those top line, right? That's a sign of brute strength, ultimate strength. But now you can see we're getting away from it here and kind of leaning in here. It's very hard to keep those bands open, right? You think of it like a rubber band, and the rubber band gets thicker and more difficult as time progresses. So you can see now we're closing. Now look at this Bollinger Band on the bottom. That's a hint of things to possibly come. That usually signifies consolidation and or a trend change. We don't really necessarily have to do a trend change yet. We don't see any signs. We're looking for a close below the weekly EMA 8. That would be step one. That would get us kind of back under 40K and take out these kind of lows that we've seen here. But look how many green candles we have here, right? We need to maintain our health. And ideally, I would like to retest not only the EMA 8, but down here at the EMA 21 weekly. Doesn't mean we have to go there in prices because this is rising. So week over week, right? This is coming up, right? So you imagine in a couple of weeks, we could be at like 38, maybe knocking on the door of 39, 40K. If we do that, right, that's fine. That's enough fuel, right? You can think of the EMA 21 week as fuel, right? We need to refuel before we run out of gas here, right? We're running out of gas. The longer we take up here, the more unhealthy we get, and the likely bigger drop could happen, right? So I don't know where that might happen, when that might happen, or if that might happen, right? No guarantees in crypto, no certainties. The only thing certain is uncertainty, okay? So that's Bitcoin, what I'm watching for on the macro scale, the short-term scale. If you've watched any of my Bitcoin videos, none of this really should be shocking you. Most of this is repetitive, but if you have any questions, like when is alt season, right? This is the number one question I get. When are alts going to start doing well? It's Bitcoin dominance. You have to look at Bitcoin dominance to know when alt season is going to be. And it's going to likely be, in my opinion, when we're back under this level here. Back under 50% minimum. Until then, right, we're still in an uptrend on Bitcoin dominance. We zoom out to the weekly. I mean, look how the Bitcoin dominance looks very similar to Bitcoin price. Gaussian channel turning green on the weekly, holding above. I mean, look at the 21 EMA, right? Holding so far right there. We do have a warning shot here, right? Gravestone Doji on the weekly. So that could potentially be the highs. But until you see Bitcoin dominance back of a 55%, we're going to assume that's the highs. I don't think that's likely. I think we could potentially go higher, but we can't ignore that candle. Our next kind of target for Bitcoin dominance, if it continues up, is going to be kind of this zone here. You see these lows from all the way back to 2020, right? This is years back. So that's what we're looking for, to the upside for Bitcoin to kind of start cooling off. Or the top is in and we're getting ready to, start this downtrend, which would be great for alts. But the true alt season begins once Bitcoin dominance, when Bitcoin dominance starts losing, right? Free fall. Alt season. When are alt seasons? Let's paint this picture. It's real easy. This is an alt season. Bitcoin dominance crashing. This is an alt season. Bitcoin dominance crashing. This is not alt season. Right? The past year has been doing the exact opposite of said alt season. So if your alts have been doing well, then imagine how well your alts will be doing once this happens again. Okay? So when we get to paint our third downward circle, we don't know, but I would anticipate that coming in the not so distant future. Couple of months, maybe. I think it would be likely a couple of months. It could be earlier, right? But imagine where we continue up here. Maybe for the next couple of months in Bitcoin dominance. Now, prices can go up or down with Bitcoin dominance, right? This is just market cap going to Bitcoin. So maybe, towards the end of the quarter, beginning of next quarter, we start to do this, right? Somewhere between here and, the first half of the year. Here's July right here, right? So into that box. I don't know when this trend is going to end, but when it does, we're looking for, there's massive signs of reversals here on all previous Bitcoin dominance capitulations. So when here's your alt season, it's when that occurs. So that's what we're looking for. Until then, right? Don't even get alt season in your mind, right? Just be happy when your alts go up, when Bitcoin dominance is rising. It's hard to do, right? So if your altcoin's performing as Bitcoin dominance is rising, that's a pretty good coin. Okay. That's kind of the important stuff I wanted to cover. If anyone wants to look at the DXY, that's kind of boring, but we can do it. Total crypto market caps. You want to keep an eye on these. Alt season will also be, right? This is total 3. This excludes Ethereum and Bitcoin. This will likely skyrocket and be the high performer. Obviously now it's in reverse order. You want your alts outperforming Ethereum and Bitcoin. So follow that for the clearest, easy part. That's what you want to be doing. All right. So appreciate super chat. Thank you so much. Coleman, awesome. Appreciate you. What what do you want to talk about? I'll get to requests now. I'll shut up on all the boring stuff. Let's get to whatever you want to do. All right, is the stream looking okay? It looks like I'm getting a warning from YouTube that's saying my bit rate is low and I could be experiencing some lag. Maybe not. Got my Ethereum water. All right. I'm just if I'm pausing or like not talking, I'm just looking at the chat. So you can go look at the chat and see what I'm looking at. So I'll just kind of start at the top with requests. If I skip you, right, just put your request in again. I'm not ignoring you. I've probably just inadvertently jumped over you unless you're talking about something stupid. Chainlink. Obviously we're gonna do Chainlink. I don't know about the SEC and ETF news. I heard it was today, but then I just read something else that said it might be a couple of days from now. So what are they going to do? It on Sunday? Like I would imagine Monday, right? But I did hear that, so I don't know if there's any fruition and truth to that. But if you've heard anything, the latest for me is I've heard 2 days from now, which makes no sense, right? They're not going to do it on Sunday. But yeah, make no mistake, the ETF news could at least bring some volatility, maybe both ways. All right, so let's look at our first request of Chainlink. All right, so Chainlink on the weekly here. Our Gaussian channel is now green now for a couple of weeks, turning green the first week of December. So just starting, early stages, right? Behind Bitcoin, as most alts are, with Bitcoin dominance so high. This should all start making some sense. Chainlink, we have our levels here that we talked about in our last video, right? We're looking at similar things to Bitcoin, right? And we're starting to breach our EMA 8 here, right? So we want to watch for this close in 2 days, right? At the weekly close, see what we end up doing, right? Are we going to breach this low? So far, our lowest close is $14. We're flirting with that right now, aren't we? So if that happens, right after this is kind of like a high wave candle, still a spinning top, lower, smaller body, but longer wicks represent, big indecision. But within context, that after this big move, and then you have this brief higher high, and then a sell-off, that represents an exhausted move, right? So the uptrend is now a little bit tired. So maybe all we need to do is just go down. Maybe we've just tapped the EMA 14. If we do and continue back up, right? It's simple, right? This is our resistance zone going back years, all the way to 2020, our $19 to $20 level. Once we break that, we're ready to go. But ideally, you want to maintain health and tag the EMA 21, just like Bitcoin we talked about. So it's $12 right now for Chainlink. That's kind of this low zone. This is more clear on the daily, right? This is the daily zone, so we can get rid of that. But looking at the weekly, right, that's what I'd be paying attention to. Let's zoom into the daily real quick. All right, you can see our sideways zone here again since November now. So we're knocking on the door of 2 months here, right, of just nothing. ping-ponging around between our low support zone and our high resistance zone. You can see how much bigger this resistance zone is from previous levels. But we're now, by definition, turning a little bit more bearish just today. We're edging into the lower part of the Gaussian channel. So that's why you're tracking the Gaussian channel. That's why these candles are fluorescent green up here. It's bullish. When they start to turn red here, you're losing some momentum. So this is the first red candle we've seen really since, September, right? We're going back here, right? This is our break. Our first break below the Gaussian channel on his green is August 17th to the bearish side from being bullish. And then we initially turned from red to green on the daily back in early October. So that is worth noting, if nothing else. Now, where could we be looking? See this, all these hesitations back here, right? That's kind of the zone we've been talking about in all our Chainlink videos. So if you watched any of those, that should make sense. So from, $11, $12 area to all the way down to 10, I would also be watching, the 200-day EMA right there in the pink. That is, rising. All these moving averages are rising on the big time frames, right? The 100 EMA right here, that's at $13. That's kind of matching our swing lows. So maybe we can hold that. That's the bottom of the Gaussian channel. But so seemingly 14, 13, and 12 seem to be pretty good. And then 10 at the 200-day, for Chainlink. All right, what else we got? Got a lot of questions now. Do our best to get through them all. So Chainlink predictions. I don't really like predictions because, who's ever been right on those? Zero people, okay. But if you had to ask me, I'm pretty confident in a $100 Chainlink for this cycle. Minimum. Maximum, I'm be looking at, best case scenario, everything goes great, no black swan events, no BS. It just goes good, which is rare, right? Not likely to happen. We're looking at the Fibonacci extension on Chainlink goes up to like $220 on the 1618. If that makes sense. So 220 would be kind of my max on this cycle, and that's if everything goes just absolutely stellar, which we know how that might turn out. So that's the kind of the rough predictions on that, but again, take predictions with a grain of salt on from anyone who says it, right? How many experts have been right about the stock market or crypto in the past 12 months? All right, Ethereum. Okay, good request. One of my favorites. My first coin in crypto, if you didn't know. Hence the Ethereum logos. All right, so here's Ethereum. We've had this painted for a while now, so let's zoom way the hell out. We need to go to the weekly. So this is kind of what we're looking at, macro scale for Ethereum. Right now, we've kind of coming up to bigger resistance, right? It's our bear market kind of lows, initial lows, right? We're our initial sell-off, and then we bounced right to the top of, you guessed it, the weekly Gaussian channel. Come back down and started forming these higher lows almost immediately. So our June 22 lows, that was it. Bounce up, start forming this resistance right here. This is where we started forming that zone, because you need 2 touch points to really form a line or any kind of zone, right? Obviously. Come back up, go down, right? Higher low, good. New higher high. At the same time, forming that resistance, come back down. Higher low again. Move back up, another higher high. So we're in an uptrend, really, since right here. Because we had a higher low and then higher high. So by definition, you're looking for trends. That's when it happened, right there. April of 2023, Ethereum was officially in an uptrend. Because you had 1, a higher low, right? And then 2, a higher high. So by definition, that's where you either would have gotten in there or waited for confirmation of another higher low and then start to move back up again. So right here, October, put our third higher low in, and now our second higher high, right? That was just the initial high. So now we're coming into resistance, right? This is a bullish formation, by the way, if you haven't caught on to that. So ideally, we'd like to flip this previous resistance zone into support. That's why you see this kind of potential here. I don't know if I'm that confident in that, right? From our low, I mean, from current prices, if Bitcoin's going to go back to mid 30s, right? Ethereum's going to get hit a little bit harder as well. So at best case scenario, Ethereum can only go down another 10% to kind of hold that zone. The 21 week is kind of right there. So maybe we get that. The top of the Gaussian channel in the weekly is still right there as well. Maybe an outside chance. If not, we're looking at this line again, right? We've been holding that pretty textbook since, June of 2022. Maybe in June of 2024, we're somewhere along that line again. Potentially, could happen, right? And those lows are, 17, 1800, depending on when it hits, right? We could do that. So one of those two, kind of my scenarios I'm looking at. Then after Ethereum starts to move back up again, and it could be next week, right? I'm not trying to predict when it's going to happen, but these are just potential scenarios. Your eyes are nowhere but 3,500, right? That's your next breakout level. Ethereum breaks 2,500, 3,500 is coming, right? So that's pretty exciting. So that's pretty substantial move, right? 40% move out of Ethereum. That's pretty right on. I would expect that to maybe potentially come to fruition in said alt season, maybe towards the end of that alt season. Ethereum generally likes to move a little bit later, right? So we'll see how that plays out. We'll keep track of that. But green Gaussian channel, green bullish pattern forming for better, over a year now. Looking good. All right, what else? Matic. I like Matic. You know who has a bunch of Matic? Celsius, because I put it there. Maybe we'll get that back at some point. I have a ton of Matic there. But yeah, big believer in Matic. I think long term it's going to do well, but it's struggling so far, right? Struggling now. We have put just similar to Ethereum, June lows, higher low, right? Initial high, but we haven't put in that second higher high yet. So for Matic to really get going, I'd really like to see $1.50 come. I know we're well under that at this point. We haven't even turned the Gaussian channel green on the weekly, nor even the 5-day, I don't believe. In fact, they're going down still. So Matic's still weaker in this market. There's many coins doing better than Matic. Long term, sure. Short term, not so sure. These are kind of the levels we looked at, for the breakout here. But now look at it, gave that right back. So that move up 25% and initially came right back, right? So maybe a head fake, maybe just early premonition to what's coming. But really, I'm less excited for Matic until $1.50 comes, if that makes sense. And I'm a believer, right? I'm a bull on Matic. I have a lot of Matic, and so I can talk bad about things that I have. Okay, you can't put shit in the dirt if you don't have it, right? If that makes sense. I don't know. So this is what I'm looking at for Matic. These are kind of the stair steps. It's like 95, 85, 75, 65 for some reason on the daily chart. On one of the charts, you can zoom in or out, and these will make sense. So I'm not going to waste your time by going in the ins and outs, but to make it clear as day, clear as mud, whatever you want to say. $1.50. Once Matic breaks that, then I'm back to big bull on Matic. Until then, there's better looking charts. All right, what else we got? Yeah, I don't know why I got laggy. I have to look into that. Maybe I'll lower my latency or something. Sorry about that if it's getting laggy. Oh geez, chat's catching up now. All right, let's look at request ASTR. And if you want a certain exchange, you got to let me know, because some of them have more history than others. But Binance or Coinbase will be pretty solid ones. So we'll add that and we'll take a look. So we'll start off on the 5-day. Look at that, nice explosive move, Gaussian channel green. Now what's really odd about this is, well, it probably doesn't have much history, right? So if it doesn't have much history, you can get fake outs on the 5-day Gaussian. But normally, 5-day Gaussian does not have many fake outs, very little. Let's go look at the weekly. So basically just building a nice big base here. Let me know if this has more history or not. But if it doesn't, right, this is really nice move to the breakout upside, right? Why am I saying that? Right here, right? This is kind of the move. These kind of double bulls, this W pattern, right? Once this breaks, all hell could break loose there. So watch for that. Looking good so far. I mean, look how spread apart the Bollinger Bands are. So looking good. Signs are there. Let's go to down to the daily. What you'd want to watch for, look at that candle. Some kind of news event probably happened then, I would guess. They probably signed something with a big company. I don't know anything. A lot of these coins, right? I'm not a fundamental analyst, so a lot of you will know much more about these coins than I do. I prefer technical analysis because the best looking charts will be the strongest coins and the highest for your ROI, right? Doesn't that make sense? Right? So you can have the best potentials, fundamentals in the world, but if the coin doesn't perform, who gives a shit? Right? All right. So, but this one looks good. Chart wise, I would like to know what happened on December 18th. I bet something big, which is why this is continuing up, but uptrend for sure. Breakout. I mean, you can look at these kind of fractal patterns where you form this high, then form this bull kind of shape, right? This lid line, back test on the 21-day EMA, and then rock it up again, right? These patterns are, it doesn't matter what the asset is. You want to be buying things that are doing similar things to this. Right, that would be a nice little gain there. I mean, it's like a 2x in a couple of weeks, right? Who doesn't like that? All right, so what else we got? Ajax. Yep, one of my top 5 coins for this market right here. And this is lagging behind some of the others, which I think is a good thing, right? I want to get in more of this, right? So let's go to the weekly. Gaussian channel green. Back testing on the 21-week EMA right now. Now this, if you see my screen here, these blue ones, these are my kind of my top 5 personal ones, right? You can like them or not, I don't care. Render and Injective are just 2 of the plain strongest charts in crypto. I'm hard pressed to find any that are stronger than those. These 3 are kind of my AI bets going forward, so you can take that with what you will. But this is one of them. So now we're back testing on the 21-week EMA. Ideally, we don't want to go back below that. Or this kind of breakout level. You can see previous support, flip to resistance, broke through it. Now hopefully just backtesting support, which is also known as a throwback, where you break out of a key level, throw back to it. That's a bullish retest, right? A throwback is a bullish retest. Don't panic. A lot of people get this wrong where they start like, oh no, it's going down now. No, just realize you have everything in context. So far, it could be bearish, but so far, it's still bullish. We're above the median Gaussian channel on the weekly. So 23 cents is where I would start to lose that kind of happy-go-lucky bullish feeling. Until then, still good. 21-week EMA. I mean, you can see the wick, the weekly wick. I know, and you might not be able to see it because of the screen being so little. But look at the low wick right on the median Gaussian channel, right? 23 cents. And holding strong so far. How long do we have to go till we get back down there? So 16% if we go back down. Keep that in mind. Otherwise, like, that's maybe just buy between here and there, dollar cost average, and then cut your losses if we go under that, right? Just get out and then buy lower, right? Or buy at a better price. If that's, not, everything I say is not specific to whatever coin we're looking at. That could be translated to any coin, okay? So keep these strategies in mind and don't like kind of start chasing butterflies or if I'm not talking about your coin specifically, usually I can teach you something about how to look at charts a little bit better, right? That's my whole goal of the whole channel is to try to educate you more. So you're, the fisherman versus getting fish fed to you, right? All right, here we go. Let's move on. Realize I probably can't get to all of these, right? I feel like all of you are asking for different coins. So I'll do a couple of these. You could join our Telegram group, right? We have a free one and a paid one. I'm happy to analyze everything. It's easier there, right, than just taking up people's live stream time. Try to keep what's best for the majority of people, if that makes sense. So don't get your feelings hurt if I skip over your coin. Join the Telegram group. Ask me there. I can, do it for you in a couple seconds, right? A lot of longtime viewers on here. Appreciate you. All right, Anchor. Let's look at Anchor. Hey, Virginia. Recognize a couple people from a long time. Whoops. Looks like I already had it somewhere, but we'll add it back. Whatever. All right, well, I like to start off on the weekly charts because it gets you like a kind of a snapshot of the macro view. Now, a lot of altcoins are looking like this right now. If this starts to look familiar to you, right? Almost every altcoin, many of them, are looking very similar to this, where we have our lows back, putting in higher lows. That's what you want to see, right, to start the traction process. But still, haven't put in a higher high here yet. So this is our initial high. We're still putting in kind of lower highs. We're trying, and just a couple weeks ago, we've now hit our first fluorescent green bullish. But look at that. Previously, once, and then it loses traction. Once, and then loses traction. Once, lost traction again. So ideally, we're looking for a higher low. That's all we can do for now, because this chart is, red on the Gaussian channel, hasn't put in, the structure macroly. Is that the word of the day? To put in a higher high. So we're looking at really, there's your breakout level. This is where I would be watching for the bullish side. For really to pick up steam to the bullish side for Anchor is right here. 4.5 cents, right? Until then, right, you're cautiously optimistic and be watching that low level. You don't want to take that out again. So we are trying to press the right buttons. Okay, so 30%, give or take, right? Hopefully we don't do that, right? If we did kind of capitulate down, or Bitcoin wants to crash back to, do an abrupt halt and go back to mid-30s, I could potentially see a retest of that. So just be mindful of these lows. Watch for these, you paint this zone, right? From this low to this low. So if you go back in here and you're a believer in whatever coin you're looking at, right, pick some up there. If we don't take out this first. If you're looking to buy some and want to be the safest, you got to wait for the breakout. And the breakout is 4.5 cents. I realize you're giving up a lot, but some coins have better, right, stories to tell than others. And this one is not an easy to read book right now, right? If that makes sense. So you still have 73% until you can really pick up bullish momentum. So yeah, you'd miss out on that, but who's to say that, we're not going down first? Right? I don't know yet. So watch for this. Watch the 21 week. If we close below the 21 week, that's a sign of weakness. So watch for that this week. 2.5 cents, 25 cents would be nice. So I'll be watching for that for Anchor. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, hit the like button if you haven't already. Help spread it here. Share the link if you can. Sorry for the delays. So there's some glitching I've been made aware of as YouTube. So sorry for that. Let's do Injective. I like Injective. It's in my top as well. Let's just look at this chart versus almost any other chart that you're looking at. These are the kinds of coins you want to be in, right? And look at even my predictive model back. I think I made this probably back in August, September, where we started talking about all these coins in my Patreon group back in late summer, right, when they were like abysmal, right? And look at what's happened. And look at my projections. I'm like, all we really need to do is just break out, come back and hold this, and look at what it did. It was so strong, broke all-time highs, and just continued to climb. So that is a bullish coin, if I say so myself, right? That's what you want to be looking at. Green Gaussian channel. I mean, look how far away. You have many coins inside their Gaussian channel. You have Injective 400% away from the Gaussian channel to the upside, right? This is... follow the charts, right? That's the only thing we're looking at here. Injective was one of the earliest ones to turn this Gaussian channel green, forming this bullish pattern, triple kind of resistance breakthrough, and who knows where the sky is for this one, right? This could be like last cycle's Solana. This could go to a couple hundred. I don't know, right? I have no idea, right? Anybody claiming to know where this is going is, full of shit. But let's throw out a, high-low fib scale. Let's look at the 1618. Now this is rough, but so I would go target 171, right? This is 1618 is ideally most coins could potentially hit, right? So 171, that's pretty good. And, I might not believe that when we were at $6 a few months ago, right? Not years ago, like a few months ago, we were at $6. But now that we're at 36, seems a little bit more doable, right? So take it from, roughly where we are now, see how much more we got to go. So that's, still 4 or 5x away, right? So 300, 400%. But you're like, only 400%? You're forgetting this, right? So if you take it from that, right, that's almost 14,000%, right? That's a good run. That's a pretty solid return in, a year or two. For 14,000%, I think we'll take that. Now, if you're trying to buy it now, right, realize you probably could still make a good amount of money, but do you think it's really going to thousands of dollars? Right, come on, right? It was at just, a year ago, it was at $1. Let this perspective sink in, right? And this is another reason I made this channel, right? We're not moon boys, right? We're realists. And I'm here to paint that for you for just looking at the charts, right? If you're thinking like some coins are going to whatever your favorite BitBoys are going to scream this time, look at the fib scale from the lows. Look at where the 1618 is. And, pump your brakes, okay? Don't be crazy. Illuvium, request for Illuvium. I think I got that down here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. I should have these better organized. There it is. I knew it was here. All right, Illuvium, still strong chart. Not a ton of history, but looking good. Still on the weekly chart. We're looking ideally to hold $75. That'd be good. I'd still be okay with coming back and really kind of coming down here a little bit more. 60, 67, 65, right? Looking good. You could still really maintain bullish momentum as long as we're not closing back below here. $50. So I don't want to, scare you thinking we're going down there, but I mean, I'm still bullish on this until we go below that. So if that's anything, 75, I would love to hold that. Ideally, that's where you want to hold to get their biggest bounces, keep your momentum. That's 10% lower. No big deal, right? And we've already had a pretty significant downwards move. So 35% from the tops. We're currently around 30% off the top. I would be a little bit more patient. Hold this through 75, right? Wherever, right? This is a strong looking chart. Great explosive move. And, noting what I'm seeing here now, is this is a nice flagpole, potential bull flag, right? You want bull flags nice and tight. You don't want this, people get these wrong a lot, right? You don't want, this is not a bull flag, what I'm going to draw here, right? This is not a bull flag, something like this. And people get that all wrong a lot, right? This is more of a descending triangle. This is bearish, right? When you go down here. And people will say like, oh, here's the flagpole, here's a flag. No, flags are like this, right? Very nice, tight, directional, straight down, directional like this, and then they move. So I like this, right? That's not a flag, right? Don't confuse that with a bull flag. That's not a bull flag. This is a bull flag. So far, it's forming. It's not textbook really. You want a little bit more, right? It's getting there. I'd like to really see a tag off the 21 week, and then if you see an explosive move, right? If you see that, let's remove all the Picasso randomness. If you see a move like, say, the test of the 21 on any coin that you're looking at, and then a strong bounce, and we start to come up and take out, say, 100 again, it's getting ready to rocket, okay? Very confident, right? All you have is the odds. Nothing's for sure. But if you see something like this in a bull flag on the weekly, wake up, right? If it starts to move up again, right? Obviously, if it breaks down, then the flag didn't matter. It's invalidated, right? You always want to have invalidation. But looking at the closing price here, it's pretty good. Still pretty strong. You can look at Heikin Ashi candles to get your momentum. And this is exactly what you want to see too on a bull flag, right? Bull momentum, strong bear momentum, and then kaboom, back to bull momentum. That's what you want to see, right? Heikin Ashi's red, right? That forms the flag. Good. Good, good. Illuvium, good. Some coins bad. All right. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully someone's learning something. Or at least, you know, not watching butterflies. All right, let's go look at near. Then we'll backtrack. All right, 12:30. I was kind of going to keep this for about an hour, but we'll do a couple more. And if you want to talk about anything else, let me know. All right, so here's the weekly on near. You can see we're still in a downtrend. We're starting to make the bullish move, right? See the candles turning green here, right? So that's good. Want to hold absolutely for this. You got to hold the 21 week if you're just starting to build your momentum. 21 week at $2 and climbing pretty rapidly. So if it takes a couple more weeks, could be, you know, 253, something like that. But here is a kind of flip zone right here. You can see that we're trying to flip this. Ideally, you'd want to flip this to support. So watch for that. Worst case, I'd be watching that 21 week right there. So watch that week over week. If you want to get more, right, buy the 21 week, right? That yellow line is what we're looking at. This one, right? The 21 week EMA, starting to show signs of strength, right? With the green and maybe looking good for the future. Breaking 550, right? Let's zoom out. Yeah, if it breaks 550, I mean, I'd kind of really target a cannon, right? Because there's nothing else between here. 550 to probably shift your focus, what, $15 to $20? That's kind of your next target once 550 falls. $6, right? So hopefully that helps. Try to do more of these live streams. Maybe once a week, once every Friday. Friday seems to be like good vibes. Like just do a live stream and then, you know, have a good weekend. Going into the weekend, right? It helps cover a lot of alts. I think maybe this will maybe Fridays. As I'm talking it out to myself, I'm agreeing with myself. All right, what else we got? Let's just go down the list here really quick. Then I'll get to a couple more requests. Looking at the coins that I've picked. Right? I mean, just look at the charts, right? Go compare your alts to these charts. Render, Injective, the two strong. Compare your coins to Render and Injective. If they look nothing like this, consider swapping boats, right? You're in a boat. Whatever coins you have, that's your boat. What boat do you want? Taking you to Valhalla over the next 18, 24 months. And yes, I do think the crypto top is likely at least a year away, more like 18 to 24 months away. So patience. That's the best advice I can give you. Look at your coin compared to Bitcoin, right? You want your coins gaining on Bitcoin. Obviously, that's going to be difficult as Bitcoin dominance is rising. But you want to be gaining against Bitcoin. Otherwise, you should just be holding Bitcoin, yeah? Right? That should be a no-brainer. Although a lot of people get that wrong, right? And most coins just tank against Bitcoin their entire lives. Or I shouldn't say most, a lot. But the only reason you're holding altcoins is because it has higher ROI potential than Bitcoin, right? Right. What else we got? DXY. All right, I'll get to some more requests. I think I missed some. I think we got a couple requests for scale. Let's go look at that. And then what was the other one? If my gum's distracting, let me know. I'll just throw it at the screen or something. I thought I saw another one. Engine. Engine, I had a bunch of engine too. Celsius has got it. Okay, scale. Let's go scale first. All right, let's look at it. Right, Gaussian channel still red, but we're above it now. 3 nice bullish green bars. Bollinger Band's opening, looking like a pretty good, powerful move here. Just broke this high, broke this high. That's looking good. I would hesitate until we're above here that this could be, this is our resistance zone, right? Previous low here, right? That's our next target, $10, or excuse me, 10 cents. You'd like $10, wouldn't you? 10 cents, $10, you're buying me a Ferrari. All right, so 10 cents, that's our target right now. The 100-week EMA is right there, right? Looking at these previous lows from the bear market, 2022. Once we break here, next target is clear at 25 cents. So that'll be a nice move. That will likely come in alt season. Zooming back out, right? You can just work this ladder, right? Ladder up the stairs. Here's one. Here's your next target right here, 40 cents. Here's your next target right here, 80 cents. And I have a feeling most of these coins will start to hesitate or break through big time on those levels as you start climbing up the stairs. And alt season going towards 2025, 2026, right? You'll be able to paint this picture on a lot of these alts. So watch for these zones. The breakout happens here. 10 cents and scale will likely start running a bit hotter, right? It's just the engine's warming up now, right? Just by definition. We're still red on the Gaussian. We're starting the engine has just started, right? We've just fired it up. Got to let it warm up a little bit. The race starts here. Told a little story there. I was pretty proud. I didn't fumble it. It was pretty good. Race car starting. I mean, that was a pretty good analysis. All right, I think I saw another one. Engine. Engine. See if we got him here. I'll probably not be able to find it. Did I miss any? If I missed any, let me know. I'm just going to type in engine. I know I have engine there somewhere, but nope, not going to let me find it. Okay, cool. It's because I already have it added. Don't worry about it. We're going to go with that one, and that should pop up at the bottom. If you're ever trying to add coins and you already have them in your list and you can't find them like me, just add a different exchange and it'll pop up at the bottom there. So looking at engine, man, still rough, right? We're not even above the median Gaussian, the Gaussian channel median, right? We're still holding that as resistance, still in a downtrend, right? So there's obviously better coins, right? And I have a bunch of engine too. It's just, one of those ones is not performing yet. And that doesn't mean it won't, but right here's a high, lower high, still lower high, right? Low, lower low. So hopefully this is the start, right? Again, all eyes on the 21 week, 30 cents, 31 cents. We need to break this. This is our next target right here. Let's call it 50 cents. 50 cents breaks all at the top of the Gaussian. We can get rolling again. Next target after that will be 70 cents. And then the Ferrari's running, right? Then we can kick it into high gear. Until then, could stay stuck in the mud, right? Don't stay in the mud when you can be in the grass. Don't stay in the grass when you can be on the road. Don't stay on the road when you can be in the clouds. Makes no sense. All right. Appreciate all the great comments. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. 27 viewers. Over 115 have watched it. Most people clicked right off. Like, who's this idiot? All right. I think I'll kind of wrap it up there. We'll do more of these. Again, if you're not in Telegram already, join Telegram. If you want more help, join our private Patreon group. Happy to help you there. Go through the entire market together. We do a lot of content, a lot of requests in there. And anything else you want to talk about, save it for later. We're going to do another one at some point. Maybe we'll do a couple a week. Maybe we'll do like the beginning of the week and end of the week. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. See how lucky everyone is. I appreciate you. Amazing that you're all here. Each and every one of you. Thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate that. Awesome. Rockstar. 57 gold stars for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.